Go.
Mics are hot.
We almost went through the entire opening entrance without a glitch, but welcome, y'all, and good to see you. It's been a minute, and the normal, usual men are already chiming in. Darren Thompson, how are you, sir? Good to see you, and welcome back, guys. It's been a minute. It's been a few weeks. Eddie and I, we're back, and
what have you been up to, man?
Dude, everything, life, getting ready, this catalog. Nice. Racing, everything. So nice. But I figured, hell, man, we had to get you guys in, kick off the month of June right. We got a special guest in here all the way from Florida. We wanted to shoot down and just talk a little bit about cars, talk about what's coming down the pipeline, and really, guys, VDub month, which used to be VDub week, is now seemed like it's turning into VDub month, is now just around the corner. So we want to make sure we get off on the right foot for the month, right? Get the ball started. What's up, everybody? Guys, like love seeing chime in. Alex Thompson, how are you, guy? Eric, you need to come by and get that Hot Wheel I have for you. Special Hot Wheel for you. I've been saving. Not even in the collection. It's hidden up its hairs. So get by Anaheim sometime soon. And it's good to see you're out of Facebook jail, Darren. And Lucas, what's up, Mr. Boxo? How are you, sir? Good to see you, my friend. And I see that you set up Mr. Wilkie with the nice set of OSM build out. It looks mighty fine, sir. But man, we're super stoked. You guys have probably seen him on your feed some way or shape or form throughout Instagram. But our dude out of Florida, Mr. Mike from Idiot Racing, is hanging out with us today live in studio. And dude, thank you first of all for popping in.
Thank you very much for inviting me out, Corey. Thank you, mate.
This is gonna be good, man. And there's a lot of people. Yes, we talk a lot of Class 11 right now. I mean, we barely had a first race, drag race for the year, all the way up in Sacramento. But this is kind of a special event. Obviously, you're coming all the way out here chasing a dream, and we wanted to share some of the stuff with our audience, and everybody's chiming in, and I'm trying to keep up with the feed, guys. So I apologize. It's going crazy. So thank you guys. First of all, none of this show would be possible without all of our loyal and our regulars. But yeah, man, super stoked to have you. And we get all these crazy questions about it, but man, what the hell possessed you, first of all, to jump in and start building the Class 11?
Isn't this what everyone's always wanted to do? Like race Baja. Any car guy out there who has seen Dust to Glory or heard any of these races or seen someone drive down the highway, they say they want to do that. And I've been dreaming about it for 20 years now. And somewhere around the COVID crazies, I decided to just jump in, right? I presented my wife with this idea. She signed off on it and we started going, right? And I bought half a bug, literally just the chassis and the motor, and started working on it. Like this is craziness personified.
See, that's exactly what, we'd love to hear we were striving for during our build, and it's a great release for you during the COVID crazies, as you like to put it. It's just an outlet, right?
Yeah, man. Keeps me busy, keeps my mind going. I love having something to work on. And since I can't leave the house anyways, why not have UPS come to me and bring some parts?
UPS and Amazon are great.
I am on a first name basis with every delivery driver that comes to my house.
That's awesome. Man, the guy's on my pepper trip. I really knew like talk to him. So Wink chiming in, type, what's up, man? Dude, so besides wanting to build a car just to keep your sanity, what was it just like when you fell in love with this as a young teenager and kind of wanted to chase this dream, and then like what the hell, what better time?
So my father works for Toyota forklifts, right? So when I was a kid at like 16 years of age and I discovered cars, I became a car guy. When I was 16, my parents started coming to me with their car questions, right? So their way of addressing with me is my father would bring home those Toyota brochures. And right about like that 2001, 02, they came out with the Tacoma Pre-Runner Edition. And that front page have Ivan Ironman Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Right? Big list there in his Toyota sponsored car. And like, that was the day I was introduced to this crazy thing of desert racing, going as fast as you can through the Mexican desert and seeing what happens. And after that, man, I just kind of became obsessed. I was living out here in California at the time, and I saw all the guys with their lifted Rangers or their Baja Bugs or rails or anything. And like, it was the coolest thing. But not coming from a background, I had no idea how to get into that in any way. So it just sat as a dream, man.
That's so it's so and I know we're getting like right to it because I want to make sure we utilize this entire hour, but it's so intriguing to me just to sit here and kind of hear the story that, you know, you weren't out racing like, oh, my dad did this and my dad did that, and you know, and that's not that there's anything wrong with that, but there was no, it was just that sheer inner fire that you just had. And the crazy part of it, you're going for it, right? It wasn't like, oh, I dabbled in some club racing stuff and we messed around here and I used to tool around on a dirt bike. I mean, you're going at it and you're going to battle the famed Mexican desert.
Yeah,
some may call you a little crazy. Obviously, some may say idiot. You never know.
Yeah, I'm not taking this the easy way. And I think that's the point, right? To go out and do a quick little short course or playing some club racing, for some reason, that just like never got me motivated enough. But the prospect of taking on the world's hardest off-road race in the world's most incapable car is the type of challenge that resonates with me. Like, going 100 miles an hour off-road, awesome. Pushing a car for 3 miles through a silt bed, now that sounds like fun.
Sounds like you're a masochist or something. What kind of secret shit are you into?
Dude,
because that sounds like a horrible idea.
You know, it can't be worse than anything I've done so far. Building this thing in my garage in Florida, when it's 100 degrees, 100% humidity, I've already dealt with the worst, right? There's nothing that Mexico can throw at me that's harder than what I've already gone through.
I think you'll be. I think you're. Oh wait, just wait. I hope the Negrete boys chime in on this, and I know a few of our other friends have been in there as well.
All right, then
so
just let me have my naivety, right? That's what's allowed.
That's
me to
the best.
forward.
Is going into it blindly, man, and it props to you. I mean, the thing is, you got the pair of cods on you to just say, you know what, I'm going to go out and do it, and you know, many of us would love to just do that and watch it and see it. And it's like that you're living it, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. And you put your money where your mouth is. You're going out and doing it. So
I'm going to try at least. We'll see how it goes after that.
It's pretty cool. Like mom and dad are chiming in. They're saying hello.
Oh, hi, mom. Hi, dad. We already talked about Toyota.
Yeah, scram. But no, this is what it's, you know what? And I think the other facet to it, and just by getting, you know, hell, we've exchanged a few IG messages and that's about it. It's like now to sit down and say, hey, what's good? To find out like you're not really a beat up guy, right? You're just like a generic car dude that just likes cars, but you're humble enough and say, I don't know shit on this thing. Help me out or figure this or figure that out. Yeah. And what were some of the, I don't say, learning curves for you, or what was some of the, I mean, besides the entire build?
Yeah, dude, literally everything. Like, I've never welded before until I started going on that chassis, right? I've like done brake jobs or things like that before when I was poor and broke and had to, but that's as far as it went. So the learning curve was literally everything. Like, I did, 7-8 hours or so of work in my shop every day. And then I sat down every night and did like 4 or 5 hours of research. And it's like researching every little thing on the car, every nut, bolt, part, piece, or otherwise. Like, as we've been talking today, you say like, I'm like pulling ideas from everyone else's car. And that's absolutely right. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I have to see what everyone else is doing, figure out how they did it, and then try to figure out how to implement it myself. Like, the learning curve is trying to get a holistic idea of how to get this thing done.
Well, it was really cool, super cool to share the moment with you with SCORE tech officials here in house, and to watch the enjoyment of your face to know that your chassis that you build, your roll cage, passed inspection.
Yeah.
And you could tell I was just kind of watching and letting them do their thing, and you could tell you were definitely nervous, to say the least, but to watch the joy of it, because that's something that you've created. I think you get a big satisfaction out of that. So it was really cool. And kudos to you for making it happen, man. That's awesome.
And I was worried about that. I've never, bent pipes, welded tubes, or anything like that before. I made that thing, and it's good enough to pass SCORE. Like, that's an achievement.
Yeah. I mean, people could see your hands. The dude's been grinding on it for a minute. They definitely got some battle scars.
Oh my God. I have so many. Look, the thing that I like to say is that little, what is it? Fingerprint thing on your phone. I haven't been able to use mine since I started this. Every week, my thumbprint's different.
What's been one of the biggest hurdles for you? I mean, again, like specifically, is there an area where you really just struggled with the build?
Planning ahead. Look, I've thought about this answer before, actually. Planning ahead is the hardest thing because I didn't know where I was going. I could generically say, like, this space needs to have this thing here. And how to make that happen, I couldn't tell you. Right? Like the space behind the gas tank, we have to store stuff. I have to put my air cleaner there. I couldn't really figure out dimensionally the size of anything until I got there.
Yeah.
So, trying to figure that stuff out is an absolute struggle when you don't know what you're doing, when you're doing every action independently. You can't go ahead like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point. And then, I mean, how many times did you have to undo things or redo things? And
a whole lot. I actually did my roll cage twice. The first time I did it, when I'm doing things, like, I look at what everyone else is doing, and then I have to figure out a way to do it that works within my skill level, which is short. So I found a roll cage design that I really liked because it looked like I could make some of these bits and parts a little easier. And then I got it all in, I got it halfway welded up, and people told me it's not SCORE compliant. At which point the angle grinder comes out, a week of work is done, and I'm starting from scratch again.
Wow. Did you ever have a moment where you were just like, what the F am I thinking, and why am I doing this?
Honestly, man, no, I didn't. Like, every day was just another day in the shop for me. Make progress, go forward, things work, things don't. I never really got that beat up. And even like the worst day that we had was just like a couple of weeks ago, when I'm already planning my trek across country and I figure out we no longer have a second driver and we no longer have an engine. Right? Like, that's the time that most people would be pulling their hair out. But for me, it's just, I take a night off, I watch some terrible cartoons, and then we get going the next day and make something happen. Right? It's awesome. Just perseverance all the way through.
Well, one of your biggest fans is chiming in saying how much you rock. Miss Cynthia Steele is on here.
That would be Dr. Cynthia Steele, my lovely wife back in Florida.
So, yeah, by the way, Cynthia, I hope to meet you soon someday. He had a ton of great things to say about you, and definitely the rock and support system needed to make this crazy, kooky adventure happen.
Thanks for making me sound better than I am, Corey.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the 20. It worked out well. But the Sean Malbannon is chiming in, a guy out here. It says really enjoyed waking up and following his story. It was inspirational, and I think that's really what was fun about the build. It was watching the frustration, the beads of sweat, the freaking rain happening. Got to push the car in, push the car out, and doing it essentially, I don't want to say in a remote part of the world, because we take it, we take it for granted in Southern California. It's like, dude, I walked you 200 feet away from Impey, and you've got one of the best off-road distribution warehouses around.
Yeah, and I have more bits and parts than I can get than anywhere in Florida. Yeah, it is. Let's call it like a Volkswagen desert out there. Every single thing that came in had to be ordered online, had to be shipped, right? Which means I am very prized with every distributor out there. Some can get parts to me in 3 days, some in 3 weeks. And like, working with that was not easy, but you figure it out. Like, one of the best points of information that I got early on was from the Project Baja guys. They said, like, order parts 3 weeks ahead of time. If you know you're going to be an X part of the project 3 weeks from now, order those parts now. Because if you start getting hung up on not having stuff in, you're going to pull your hair out, and then the whole project's froze.
Yeah, it's key. I mean, because you could be waiting on stuff. I mean, especially right now where you were fortunate enough to where a lot of companies had stock and stuff like that, and things have been a lot.
If anything was back ordered, especially in these past month or so, Literally
Brutal.
nothing that I could do.
Billy Fegan was chiming in and said that never be afraid to fail. And I think you look at it two different ways, but it's a great reference point, right?
Yeah.
And some of us, my thing is I'll work hard enough to never fail. It's you just try to work for it, figure it out. But I mean, you were so humble about all of it. You hat in hand, hey man, I really don't know shit. I'm trying to figure this out, and this is what I screwed up today. And I think that's what was appealing with the build, and it showed like, dude, you built it in your garage, right? Your home workshop, your home garage, and that's what is so impactful, and that's what we tried to relay on our message here when we were building the cars with Timmy and the boys, and to see it then done again, and then hopefully you're enticing somebody to do the next chain. That's really what we want to do is keep keep filling that bucket of enthusiasts, even if you don't want to race, but it's intriguing. You love B-dubs and you want to go tool around. We've got one of the guys on the team, Big Mike, who's got a beautiful 67 class 11 street car, but he's not afraid to go out and tool around in the desert with it, but he doesn't have the necessarily desire to go race. Yeah. And that's not fair. So it's really cool to go out and see that, but just enjoy the build and take those things to each of the builds. So very, very, very cool.
What I found out is that there is no one singular way to do a Volkswagen Beetle. I've talked with people who own Beetles from 57 through 77. Everyone's doing them for a different purpose. And everyone's just sort of putting their stuff together to do whatever they want to do with it, be a local trail in Georgia or something out in Arizona. And it's awesome to see everywhere that these guys are going with them. Every different unique idea they have about how to work something up for their own needs. It's brilliant to see this community just go at it.
And it's awesome. I mean, it is, it's been cool to, like I said, try to extend the olive branch here, get you to come here, what we can do to help out, but whether you're in Baja or whatever else. So it's going to be a blast. What could you tell someone to kind of get them to start the next project or even if it's not necessarily building a class 11, but what would you tell somebody that needs that extra little nudge to get them into a build? Sound.
You can do absolutely anything.
There we go.
Right. You can do absolutely anything. Right. If you want to go off-roading in your Beetle, you can grab a stock Beetle, put an adjuster on the front and take it out to the desert and have a good time. Right. You don't have to have a 20 grand or 30 grand machine to go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to get into something, whether it's street, drag, off-road or otherwise, start by making just one modification. And maybe 6 months later, you'll make another one. It really is that simple. And these things really are simple to upgrade, to work on, to build. It's, one of the first things I ever heard about Volkswagen Beetles was my cousin. He's a bit older than me. He was talking when he was in college, like he wants to get a VW Beetle, tear it down, rebuild it, because it's the easiest way to get into mechanics, to learn mechanics. They're the simplest cars ever, right? And just starting with the simplest car and making little upgrade by little upgrade can get you to wherever you want and have a great time doing it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think you'll as you start to log some more miles and come out this weekend and have some fun, and I think you're really going to get a good taste of the capability of these cars. And that's, I think, what shocks many people that are getting new into this. Even myself, I've been around the cars a long time, but some of the stuff these damn little bugs can do in the dirt is absolutely just mind-boggling in many cases. And what do you think going into Baja or going into some of the future? So what are some of your biggest, I don't say fears or concerns with the capabilities of the vehicle?
Right now, my biggest concern is hill climbs. I mean, no, everyone who's looking to run the 500 this year has been pouring over the map, and we're all focused on this 130-mile section, right? Our map this year is just under 400 miles, and we're all concerned about this 20-mile section because it's going to be a brutal rock climb uphill thing that none of us are really entirely sure that a Volkswagen Beetle can make it up. Now, if we had an extra 10, 15 horsepower, if we had an extra inch of ground clearance, right? Some of these things could be made, but for us, maybe we might be able to get there. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm pretty sure we'll all be figuring it out together. If you get 10 guys pushing one car up a hill, it might happen.
Yeah. Or you got that yank rope will get you going up the hill, or that nice, some sledding engineering horsepower will find you that 10 or 15 you need.
Yeah, they would.
It's just takes money.
Yes. See, and that's where I'm at, man. I don't have the money for that motor at this point, especially when you get to the tail end of a project. I mean, I blew through my budget 4 months ago. So at this point, every penny sort of counts. So getting that cheap motors, what I get to work with.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is they were all capable at one time or another, right? There's going to be some rescue vehicles nearby, you know, to help pull you out or do whatever. And just the camaraderie. I think, again, everybody loves the Volkswagens. So I think
they
you're
get
going
so much respect everywhere they go. Even when I took my thing to the Hoop DX out in Florida a few months back, every guy out there in a Jeep or a side-by-side or otherwise was stopping to take a look at this Beetle and just giving it compliments. Like, those are the best cars I've ever had. And it's awesome to see, man. There's a nice guy, a gut out to here, but a nice fella. He was in a racing side-by-side and says, like, yeah, I leave this thing at home. When I go out, I take my old Beetle. I put a flatbed on the back, and it's better than anything else.
That's awesome. Lucas Hand, I don't know if you had a chance to chat with him or not, but he's very deep in off-road history and lineage. He says, remember, VCP is only a 10-minute penalty. But no, it's cool to see so many folks chiming in that are new to the show, right? That are definitely following what you're doing, and it's so cool to see. And again, thank you guys for chiming in and tuning in and watch what we're doing and showing the support for this cat. I mean, this is doing something new and different, and you know, the best, I think one of the for me, the best part of this whole thing is that you're just willingness to ask the questions. Like, hey, how do you do? A lot of people, the pride gets in the way, man.
Dude, that's why the very first thing I did was call myself Idiot Race. Like, the first thing that I did is I jumped onto a Volkswagen forum and I had asked the stupidest question. I don't even remember what it was. Like, it was about this part or a piece that only an idiot would not know their name. So to get around that, I introduced myself. Hi, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. Please don't speak bad about me. Just answer the question. And it worked. Like, the first response was snarky. The second response was some guy like, hey, did you see the name? Here's the answer you're looking for. Opening up with that humility, or, you know, humor, as I like to see it, really just made it a lot easier for everyone to understand, right? More willing to help me out through this.
No, it's a great point. And again, the willingness to do that, a lot of people, a lot of men especially, wouldn't have the guts to do it. So watch.
Dude, and it's the only way I've been able to get here. Right. Yeah. I could have struggled for another 6-10 months trying to do this all on my own, saying I don't need help. But if you actually want to get something done, you got to ask.
Yep.
And, you know, putting myself on the Instagram and everything that I've been doing, like, that's the main reason for this. I'm really glad that I'm helping some other people out along the way. It's really awesome. Like, even 5 minutes before I came out here, someone was asking me some info about how to work the rear suspension of a C11, and happy to give it to them. But even better than that was, every time I do a post or ask a question, I get a dozen people offering me advice or help or otherwise. Like, and that's how this has been possible.
Yeah. It's Winks chiming in right now. Says he even asked what oil to use.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah. And as you guys have that lovely blue 1600 out back, you have a nice little oil can there. I just take note of what you're using too. I don't know what
maybe we're misleading you.
Oh yeah.
That's the common stuff. The race shop's different.
Well, apparently Baja's even different than that, right? I'm using 10W40 in there, and apparently I'm supposed to use something thicker with a 2040, 2050, something like that. I didn't. We're actually going to play with some oil this week when the rest of the team gets out here.
Yeah, I mean that's like with any other engine builder, right? I think you're going to get
everyone has their secret sauce.
Yeah, everybody's got their own idea and their own thoughts and theories behind all of it. So, you know, I mean, we even essentially change viscosities throughout the year too. So definitely something different. Westy Restorations, thanks for chiming in, guys. He says we all had to ask stupid questions to get where we are at. It's true.
Yeah. It's the only way you learn the answer.
Sometimes, hopefully, you ask before their expensive mistakes.
I've also made those mistakes too.
And then you had I can't even call you something. Motorsports said the nice Hoopty X shootout. So, or shout out, excuse me.
Yeah. If you've ever had the chance, man, you got to make it to those. Those things that these guys build are awesome. My favorite there was a Toyota Prius with literally the passenger side bodywork gone. The fenders, the doors, half of the weld on sheet metal just gone. And this was what he was racing. Like somebody bought this Prius for the passenger side to put onto their car, and he just picked it up for scrap and took it out rally racing.
Hell yes.
That's the way it's done.
Man, send us info. We'd love to make a trip somewhere out to go out and have some fun. I'm sure Timmy and the boys would love to come out and go play around with some of these guys.
You know, the best thing is if you spent $1,000 on your rig, you overspent, right? There's like this fun thing that happens when you genuinely don't care about what happens to the car you're driving, right?
Yep.
It's how you get all of those amazing YouTube videos out there.
Absolute content. So good. Especially like, hold my beer, watch this. Or when you really don't care and you're going to send it. Let's see. We got some questions coming in too. We'll continue at it. It says Lucas Hand's asking, what tires are you running?
BFG. I looked at, Yokohama, Toyo. Everyone has a great off-road tire that would work for this. But the pit support of BFG in Baja is very special. It is absolutely why I am running BFG and have considered nothing else. The help that they have of the trucks that they give out, the map that they give out and everything is absolutely necessary. So after that, I'm running 235, 75, 15s. Some people like to kind of cut down the corners of those. I did not. And I'll probably tell you in a week about why people cut down the corners of them.
Fenders.
Yeah, fenders are disposable.
Yeah.
The sooner they break off, the sooner I get to lose some weight.
There you go.
And if they break off during the race, you're allowed to finish without them.
So you're going to leave some bullshkin.
Just put a little nick in the bolt. Something will happen.
There you go. So I'm sure that the course, according to our guys that were pre-running, it definitely looks like you're not going to have a problem losing some fenders this year. So
yeah, I won't need to help out the process.
Yeah.
Perfect.
7 so Lucas says, I've been around VW since I was 12 and I still ask stupid questions, but we love you, Lucas. We love you. What I'm trying, there's just so many thoughts going through my brain, man. So I know you did tell me this was one of the bucket list.
Yeah.
Because so full disclosure, I reached out to this cat a while back when you were just kind of getting going in this thing and said, hey man, love to help you out a little bit. And then, are you sure you want to do this one right out of the gate? Like, I'm no expert by any means, full disclosure, but holy shit, dude, you're going after the main deal.
Dude, a lot of people have chimed in saying I should try something easier, and I've ignored every one of them because Baja is the dream, right? This is the biggest, it's the hardest, this is the most notable. This is what I've been dreaming about. Baja or nothing. I mean, after this, I can go out and have some fun, right? Do a nice little Great American short course or whatever. But I have my heart set on this. It is absolutely a bucket list item to have that story, to have that when I'm in the nursing home, to have that trump card over everyone. Yes, they raised 3 kids, but I raced Baja. Who can beat that?
Yeah, and he's like,
you. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, I mean, it's a freaking awesome point.
Yeah.
It just, was your wife ever concerned or any of your team ever concerned, just, with racing background, right? This is all new. Haven't, unless you're not telling me like, oh, I used to race this, and this, and you kind of, check it out. You're getting used to race. Not only you're getting used to drive a VW,
sure,
which drive and handle completely different,
a little bit,
class 11, even worse. And you're going to go out and just start mobbing.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never raced. I've never actually attended an off-road race before, right? I've been to a Formula One race before, and that's the extent of my racing pedigree. This is all new.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, how much fun is it going to be?
Dude,
right?
how big are your balls? Like, I don't want to ask other dude. Like, you just that, or you're literally a freaking kook, dude. One of the two is like, there's people that they're just, you're in it, man, and that's what's freaking awesome.
Look, mate, I am a bit of a kook. I'll give you that all day. But I kind of walk into anything saying, yeah, I can figure that out. It's not going to be easy, but we can figure it out. I can figure out how to drive a car in the desert. I got 5 days ahead of me to do that. If I can't learn it then, well, then
we'll learn it on the course. I got 500 miles to figure it out.
Yeah.
No, I did. I dig it. Like I said, it's and you know what, man, honestly, like a lot of people look at that as like, well, dude, if this dude can,
hey, if an idiot can do it,
yeah, if the idiot guy can do it, I can do it too. And that, you know what? And that's totally awesome. I don't even know how to even put it words. Like it's freaking rad, man. It's like, if you're going to do it. I mean, and you're not afraid to send it.
No, man. I go big, fail hard. Look, I know there's very limited chance of me doing anything great over the next week, but I'm going to try. And if and or when I fail, I'll know where I failed, fix it, and try again.
That's awesome.
You're
I love it. I love it.
That luck story, man. That just, you never know. Like, just keep rolling the dice and let's see what happens. Let's go to Vegas before you go home, please. 'Cause I want to bet whatever you want to bet on.
That's awesome.
I'm in.
If I just get the entirety of the nation of Mexico behind me, I'm sure we can make this work.
There you go. Start lobbying.
There you go. I'll get a commercial area in Ensenada a couple days.
Lots of beers will help.
Hey, now there's an idea.
That's so cool, man. I can't even stress it enough that just it's motivating, dude. I mean, it really is, and it's people in here chiming. Amber's in, so now I want to race Baja. She's like, great. It's just hearing the stories, the guys like we've had Ron Fleming in here, right? One of the OGs who Fat Performance built, thousands of off-road motors over his time and won all kinds of stuff. Just even listen to some of his stuff. It's just like, dude, like, I just want to get a little bit of that. Like, I want some of that to learn and to feel and to try and experience. And then just, dude, I mean, again, a lot of people would love to be in your place in position to the willingness to try it, right? Climb over that and then the sacrifices to get there.
The best part is absolutely anyone could do it. Anyone could build a Class 11. I mean, if I was able to do it, I'm pretty sure most people else could.
So how would you tell them to get started? What would you tell besides not buying a rusty shell?
Dude, yeah. I bought my bug from Florida. It took so much, 2 months just doing rust repair. The number one thing I can say is drive out west and buy your bug. Oh my God, it'll save you so much time and money. I mean, you guys will sell less sheet metal parts, so you're not too happy about that. But
when it comes to Class 11, we sell plenty of sheet metal parts. I'm their best customer.
Yeah, dude. After that, talk with people. Like I told you about that forum that I went to. The very third comment was a guy pointing me towards Class 11 junkies, and to start talking to those guys, pointing me to Project Baja guys, and like the community immediately jumped in. Now, I do got to say, when I went out there and proclaimed, "Hi guys, I'm an idiot. I'm building a Class 11 race car," the number one response from at least 50 people is, "Class 11 for racing or for fun? Because you don't look like the guy who's going racing." I mean, but to get the entirety of the community immediately there, just saying, "Okay, here's what you need to know. Here's where you should look," and just start pointing you, right? Like the one of the biggest problems I ever have when I'm working on this thing is like, I need to figure out where I can get another one of this piece. First of all, I have to figure out what's this piece called. Can't type it into Google unless you know the name, right? So to finding all of these resources, be it, the Haynes manual or certain forums online or, otherwise, is the first step to figuring out anything and getting the community to put me straight, to put me in the contact with the right people to get me going in any direction. Like, again, just a lifesaver. It's how we were capable.
Wow. I dig it. It's just refreshing, right? I mean, that's kind of the thing for me. I think it's just something totally different. And hopefully you guys that are watching this and kind of listening in and whatnot, it really is a different perspective. And so many things that we take for granted or so many things that, whether it's the ability to find the parts, the cars, even the material, right? The tubing. I don't know where your local tubing house and supplier is, but then also to be able to find the sources you need, and they could be good and bad. But obviously you've been able to evolve and grow with this whole thing.
Been able to figure it out. Again, one little piece at a time. We found it out. Some things got delayed for 4 months while I was trying to figure it out, but eventually we got there.
And you're somebody's chiming in too. Are you going to try to make the 1000 as well?
Yes.
Stone cold.
Dude, that's hell yeah, man. Dude, it's a top to bottom this year. Can you understand the logistics? I've worked this out. Just the logistics of moving 16 people from the top of this peninsula to the bottom, as well as somehow racing a Class 11 race car.
Yeah.
Dude, I need to do that. My only side is I need to find a bit of financial help to get there.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's gonna happen. I mean, at this point, I got 6 months to work on it. I could figure out anything, and then
start selling some more T-shirts, and it'll fund your. There we go. Starts fun in the build, fun in the race.
There you go.
Way to get some. And by the way, guys, like the dude loves orange and black. Like his tow rig is done. His truck's got orange lines on the wheels. It's done.
Yeah, dude, that's how we roll. Someone called it like a deranged Halloween. can work with that.
Good luck from your friends at Florida Off-Road Racing.
Oh,
Lisa
yeah.
chiming in.
Those guys are awesome.
Trying to get through these here. Well, we got a lot of them. So
the Florida off-road racing community is bigger than you think. There's not many places to go that you can go, but like there's Jeep Life guys out there. There's buggy guys out there. Actually, my friends now, Zumi and Lisa and such, they were out having a big buggy weekend in Ocala National Forest, and they sent me photos today of just hitting jumps and flying through. Right, Zumi's got like a class 10, a big LSV8 something or other in the end of it, and like it's an awesome rig. And he gets together with every other buggy guy in Florida and just rips it.
Somebody's asking, what is the goal for day one?
Like, what are we calling day one?
Yeah, that's Rafael Hernandez.
Oh, hi, Rafael. My wife's friend.
Got it.
Day one, let's call tomorrow day one, considering I'm going to be out in the desert. Let's call it a goal of 50 miles and nothing falling off.
Bonus.
Yeah, I'll go for that any day. I mean, we got a few other little things that I need to figure out on the car beforehand, but we need to get a good break in on the motor. We need everything to stay in its place. And that's a good day in my mind.
After you did the Hoop DX thing, did you put a wrench on nut and bolt the car and kind of go back through it, make sure it was locked down?
Yeah. So the car was like barely runnable at the Hoop DX, right? I kind of skipped over a couple of steps just to make a running driving car. It was perfectly safe and all that stuff, but there was still a lot of work that needed to be done until the end. And even then, like the suspension setup that I had on at the Hoop DX, I always knew was eventually going to be like my backup suspension. It's a little bit softer front and rear. It's a little bit otherwise. So after the Hoop DX, I disassembled front and rear, got it to be a nice floating UFO again, just to kind of get everything perfect. Going into the Hoop DX, let's make it run and drivable. Afterwards, let's reverse it and go through everything and make it race ready, right? Ensure that I have double Loctite on everything. Ensure that everything is torqued. Everything that I did afterwards is in its final location.
Very cool. Lucas Hand again chiming in saying pump gas or race gas motor, and this is a pump gas motor.
It's a pump gas motor.
This is actually about as stock 1600 can be besides the cam.
Damn near it. I got about $3,000 into this motor, luckily, because thank you again, Zumi, all the labor was free, which is nice. But I mean, I upgraded to dual port heads. That's about it. I upgraded to dual port heads, and I got a Eagle 100 cam in it. So if stock motors are running like 65, I got like 66. But it's a solid, reliable motor. The one thing I don't have to worry about is my motor blowing.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, and it's not even running through a bigger carb, Lucas. It's still running through a stock.
Okay, I got my pick 30 on it.
30 pick. Yep. So it'll do the job, man. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, should do the job, and it's just going to be fun to watch and follow along. Mm-hmm. What app do you like to use? I know there's some scoring apps and track maps that are good for people to follow along. What's some of the best ways for them to follow along your journey? How are you going to document?
I'm going to be putting everything on Instagram. Depending on cell signal in the back parts of Mexico. Yeah. I mean, when I'm stopped in the middle of the mountain sections documenting everything, I'm sure most people won't get it till about 8 hours later, but I'll try. Aside from that, check out on my website, idiotracing.com. I'll be throwing a few things extra up there, as well as you actually want to see where I'm at on the Score website. They have the GPS tractor that'll actually tell you exactly what's going on, or at least if I'm moving or not.
One of our very own here, Adrian Sanchez, who was co-partners with our sales manager, Jesse, who you met, who had the America car. He said, this idiot is going to make this idiot buy another car.
We can have the idiot shootout. Now that's something I wouldn't mind putting my name on.
There we go. Adrian, make it happen, dude.
There you go, man. I'll meet you out in Johnson Valley and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think he's going to come out with us this weekend. So it'll be pretty cool.
How many guys does your company have coming out there this weekend?
So we have the 211 cars. Mm-hmm. And so Timmy's in my car. Where Negretes are coming out in the 516 car. A few of our pit guys we're coming out. We're logistically struggling this weekend a little bit. Just there's a lot of stuff going on with VW month, so we lose, Andy and our time. Andy Kimball is our basically admin in the pits, kind of keeps log of everybody, the leads, stuff like that. Mike's going on. We're missing several guys this week, so it's gonna be a little tough. We're working through it, but we should have we'll have 311 cars, excuse me. Nice. So we'll have our 211 cars plus Wilkie, and then our 516 program with the Negrete family. So should be a pretty good run, man.
Yeah, man, that sounds like a great time. And just to be clear for everyone, this is the Mackenzie 250.
Yes, in Lucerne Valley.
Wow, I've been saying that wrong for about 2,500 miles.
You've been lonely 2,500 miles in the car. The dude drove cross country by himself. Right? I mean,
yeah. Only a couple of problems along the way, but it wasn't bad.
Nothing detrimental though. Everything made it one piece.
Oh no, God no. I had a problem with the trailer. Lost a couple of lug nuts, made the wheel sort of shake around, and I had to get a new brake drum hub. That happened in Louisiana.
Hey, so if you need any trailer stuff, Lucas Hand, that's what he does for a living. So Lucas, you might need to give his trailer a once over when he's out in Barstow.
Honestly, mate, I'm going to do it myself. Yeah, I'm not entirely confident on that thing making the trip back home. And I'm already making plans. Like, that's the next project. What can we do here? New axles, maybe some new hubs on it, 4-wheel brakes. I mean, the matter that I'm planning the build of my trailer shows you how much confidence I have in this thing.
And you're going to drag it to Mexico too.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, at this point, I don't have another choice.
Yeah,
this is the way that it's going.
Yeah, you dealt the hand, and you're going to keep rolling with it. So you're definitely pot committed, my friend. And you got the poker face for sure. Whether you're not be worried or not, you're doing it. So,
dude, I've been in this exact mindset for at least a month now. Everyone's
kind of like F it. I'm rolling with it.
Yeah, basically, I have no other choice. As you say, I'm pot committed. This is the way it's going. So see what happens.
That's dope. Josh McGawkin says, awesome job, Mike. Project Baja guys all say hello.
Those guys have been one of the greatest helps throughout this whole time. There's a team of them. They've run the 1,000 a couple of times. Their worst one being they made it 7 miles in. But all of those guys have been happy to chime in to help too. You know, they're rank amateurs just like me, guys who figured out in their garage in Colorado, right? So as you like to keep saying about, the cojones it took me to do this, they were the first, and they're trying to, share some of their cojones with me along the way.
Hey man, that's what's getting what this community is supposed to be about.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be. So it's very cool, and shout out to Josh and those guys up there, man. It's look forward to meeting them, and keep doing what you're doing. Another question's coming. What is, besides the Baja 500 and 1000, what other stuff are you going to try to hit with this car?
I want to do the Vegas to Reno. Do that
backwards this year.
Yeah, Reno to Vegas. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Vegas to Reno backwards.
Gotcha.
Whatever. That territory, right? That central Nevada territory is like the one area of the country that the fewest amount of people have ever gone to. It's the most remote section of desert we have. And it's all government land. Like, you can be cruising through there along a nuclear crater or ancient bombing ranges, right? That just sounds awesome to go through this weird territory that's as desolate as you can be, riding past wild horses. I want to do that one.
It's supposed to be a big one this year, so we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely one for the records.
Oh yeah,
big money.
Really? Oh yeah, that's right.
And this or that.
Yeah,
huh? There's money involved.
Yeah, that old thing. Yeah, that just made the rounds last week.
Yeah.
Again, I don't expect myself to be in the running for that end of things. I'm going out there to finish. That's the goal.
Absolutely, man. The thing is, is just from an outside perspective looking in on the class, anything could happen with these damn cars. You got to get a little bit lucky, right? First of all. And then the things got to hold up and last. And I think some of the stuff that I've just learned from listening to guys like Lucas and Timmy and Richard and those guys is just they push some people push too hard early on. They just beat the shit out of the car, and it doesn't really make it, man. And it's
dude, that stoppage time is what ruins your race. You break something, because you're shooting for the top of the podium. Yeah. The guy who wins is the one who's actually going the slowest, as long as he makes it there in time.
So we got some more chiming in here. Richard Boyer saying here, Vegas to Reno is changed back to start in Vegas the same way to Reno. Oh, okay.
Wait, this year they changed the direction of the backwards race.
That's what Richard's chiming in. So is that right, Rick? Is that what you're saying. So, and of course, Lucas Hand says there's lots of brothels over there. So thanks for the.
That's good to know.
Good to know, Lucas. So, yeah, I guess when you're,
you're going through a pit stop. Why not just relax a little bit? More?
Stop in for a.
Is my wife still listening to this?
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
Okay, perfect.
Oh yeah, a couple comments up. Cynthia still saying shout out to the rest of the team from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Yeah, the rest of I'm from Tampa, Florida. The rest of my team's from up in Alpharetta, Georgia, which is northeast of Atlanta.
So we talked a little bit logistics.
Sure.
Enlighten us about this. So you've got some mechanical engineers, you said, and so this story gets the twists and turns.
So my team took a bit of a change. It had to have been 2-3 weeks ago now. I had an old friend of mine had been agreed to be the second driver on this team. A couple of weeks ago, for reasons I perfectly understand, he had to back out. Hurts me a little bit. Put me into a bit of a spot there. Now I have a co-driver, which is Robbie, the man that I actually met him at Hoop DX. He had a 87 Volvo something or other that was missing half its bodywork, had a radiator from a Ford Taurus, had a turbocharger that didn't care to work, was 4,000 pounds of Swedish made steel, and he was taking this on a rally circuit. So I immediately like this guy.
Eddie's like, I kind of like what you're going with this story.
Yeah, his Frankenstein of a Volvo was the coolest thing I've ever seen. So after talking with him for a few hours, I'm like, this guy knows how to work on a car. He's a really nice guy, and he likes Volvos. Okay, perfect man for a co-driver for this race. Right. So after working with him for a while, it came down that our other driver is not going to be able to make it. So it turns out, as I'm talking with Robbie about this, his father's been a race car driver since the 60s. He's done midget cars. He's done circle track, dirt track. These days, he does a lot of like lemons racing and everything. Like, okay, we need someone to step in to be a driver. How about a 64-year-old man who has a long history of racing? That's a perfect thing. And so it turns out Robbie, his father, and their other co-driver are all mechanical engineers who happen to be car freaks on the side. So like I lucked into possibly the best team ever. When it comes to anything breaking during the race, these guys are the experts on how to make it happen.
Yeah. Can figure it out.
Oh yeah. And I'm just going to be there saying like, well, I know the size of that bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah. 13 millimeter wrench for that one.
Hey man, whatever works. But just, I think the uniqueness and the diversity of it all, right? It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Logistically a little bit of a trying though, because you're where you're at versus where they're at. And
we had to get together the other day to just do a gear change off, which meant that Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Florida are around in about 8 hours away from each other, 8 hours drive, and neither of us could really start making the trip until at 5 o'clock. So by time we got home, that was the first day of Baja training. I got home and rolled into my driveway at 4 a.m. having started the day at 7 a.m. and doing a hell of a lot more. They got home at 5:30 a.m. Right? They pulled an all-nighter just so that we can swap some gear over, right? Some tools and coolers and all that good stuff. But that's what you do.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
the option that we have. It's either that or pay someone $500 to take the entire drive for us. You make it work, man.
You have to.
Yeah. There's no other option, right? You either make it work or you give up now and go eat some bonbons.
It's awesome. Robbie Mix says the rest of the idiots will be out there soon.
That's my co-driver.
Very cool. So you're going to do just 2 co-drivers, you and one other one?
2 teams, 2 drivers, 2 co-drivers. Robbie's my co-driver. His pops is the second driver, and they have Lucas as their other co-driver. So yeah, just 2 teams of drivers, which luckily this year's map is very conducive to a shorthanded team like ours, right? If you've ever tried to put together a team for Baja, you call up your friends from Texas and say, hey, would you mind taking a week off and go spend it in the Mexican desert? It's not a good sell, no matter how you put it.
Tired.
Yeah. So finding people to fill out a team can be a little bit difficult. So we have a shorthanded team, and this map was very advantageous for us. I'm really glad it didn't work out another way. I was prepared for the absolute worst, that I'm going to have to scramble and like hire people to run chase trucks for us. But I think we'll be all right. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, if anything that we can do to help, with the MP racing team down there and the Grete boys, let us know. That's what we're about. Try to help one another keep this thing alive and hopefully get you across the finish line, including ourselves. So,
oh, that would be so nice.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's got to put a stamp on it. I mean, the level of emotion. I don't know if you're like an emotional guy, but that has to be pretty amazing if you pull that feat off.
If I can pull that off, I think that'll be one of those bullet point moments of my life. What are your greatest achievements? Building a car in my garage and finishing the Baja 500. That's got to be up there.
Hell yeah. What was the total length of time on the build?
Actually, my wife picked up. I brought home the chassis August 6th of last year. So we're rounding about 10 months to today, just about.
And you worked on it a lot.
I worked a lot. Yeah. I got thousands of hours into that thing. Wrenching on it almost every day. Taking off time here and there just to keep my sanity. But yeah, I mean, mind you, I could have taken off 2 months if I bought a California car and didn't have to deal with rust, right? I could have bought another month or two if I had done things right the first time. But neither of those worked out in my favor.
Yeah, it happens, right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Lucas Hand chiming in again, saying duct tape and baling wire is your friend. Put a folding tree saw in the car, small rolls of carpet too. One of those little rolling.
I got some felt carpet that was used for a similar idea. That tree saw, though, I don't really see how that would come in handy. I don't expect on running into too many trees. I mean, those bushes are pretty easy to just kick down. I don't know, man. I take in so much information, right? Everyone, again, dozens of times a day, I'm getting information brought in from other people, and I just try to put it all together, understand
it. Sydney's asking, what are you doing for that tough section of the course?
That tough section, you mean mile marker 150 through 170?
I think he might have been preparing for it.
Yeah. That's my section to drive too, because the second the map came out, I've been obsessed with that. I've been talking with every C11 guy or 5/1600 guy out there. Everyone's been focused on that section of the track. So I'm a little bit obsessed with it. As far as what am I doing? I'm getting some friends to hang back and help me out. Some of the other C11 guys are having chase team guys with lifted awesome pickup trucks staged up there, ready to literally pull them up the hill. I don't have access to one of those. So I need what's usually called a favor. So there's some, friends on Instagram or otherwise, they're going to give me a bit of a hand and just be present. Pull me up if they have to, put me back on my wheels should they need to, or push me along. We'll make it happen. Further than that, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a pretty good log jam right about that section. So there's going to be, 10 other guys on hand, all trying to fight through the same thing at the same time. I'm kind of anticipating there to be more of a group effort going on when we get to it.
Get a big 4-wheel drive daisy chain a few together and drag them up the hillside.
What is it? Let's call it a bug chain.
Yeah. Lucas was saying that the tree saw for cutting down branches for traction. So,
well, we have the traction devices.
Yeah. Shout out to
Max Track.
All right. Yeah, I saw them mounted on the roof of the car. And
oh yeah, those are a friend from Dark Cloud Racing. He lent me those. I have a new pair coming in a couple of days. I'm at that point where anything that comes in the mails probably get here.
Yeah,
some way.
You start shipping stuff out here yet?
Yeah, actually, but just the one. It's kind of funny. Like as I've been getting closer and closer to the deadline when I'm no longer going to be at my house, I am purely focused on what's the shipping time. It went from, okay, anyone who can get it to me in a week, we can work with. Anyone who can get it to me in 3 days, to if Amazon can't get this to me tomorrow, then I'm not getting it. Like the last week, if it's not on Amazon, I have to wait. Luckily, as you say, the world of off-road racing is within 5 miles from me, just on one way or the other down 91.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
So we're here to help out. So Lucas brought up a great point, though. I didn't really think about it too, as far as the traction devices. He says sometimes you just can't go back for those once you start getting rolling.
So actually, you don't need to. If I have a nice little kind of cheaper and climbing rope with me, but a good dynamic rope, you tie that to the traction devices. So when you catch some grip after using them, you're just dragging them behind you until you find a good place to pull off. That's kind of the idea. Or your co-driver is already out there pushing. He grabs them and he's running for half a mile until you can catch up with him.
God, I can't wait to watch this unfold. That's all I'm saying. This is gonna be
madness,
be good.
man. Pure and utter madness.
And just the idle time for you to while you're driving across country, just to probably rack your brain on every little aspect. You can tell you're obsessive in certain areas of the not just of the course, but of the whole plan. Like, and you're just dissecting it. I'm just been interesting to watch your brain work. Right. We've only spent an hour or so together, so it's been kind of interesting to see how it all works. And
I've been singularly focused on one thing, and you can even ask my wife how much this sort of changes me throughout the time. I am focused on this race, on all these little minute things that may or may not happen or may not go on. So to try to plan all of those out to the best of my ability is true madness. Yeah, and all in itself.
It's going to be interesting. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I'm sure many of you guys watching this can't wait as well. So plans for the weekend, let's bring everybody up to speed before you head to Baja.
Yep. So over the next couple of days, I'm going to be out in the California desert, taking advantage of the fantastic OHV areas that are nothing like we have in Florida to test my car. Then coming into this weekend, I'm going to be at the Mackenzie 250. Tim Sletton has kindly offered me the opportunity to be his co-driver in the Mackenzie 250. For C11, it's 3 laps of the 45-mile circuit. And to sit next to one of the most prolific Class 11 car builders in the country is incredibly valuable. I mean, I've never met this man. We've talked a few times on Instagram, and he's given me this opportunity to see what a Class 11 car is, can do, and how to do it correctly.
The boy can drive.
Oh, my God.
I think he's going to, he's been an awesome teacher for me. And I'm so thankful for all that time that I've been able to spend with him, just as a friend and as a guy just to learn to drive. These machines are so unique and so different than anything else I've ever driven. Yeah. And it's going to be awesome because I think it's going to be great for you to actually finally get a chance to see what they're able to do. I mean, they are going to.
I'm worried about breaking this thing, right? This is my little baby. I know what went into this. I don't know that you can actually hit this speed bump going up 50 miles an hour and be fine, because I'm not going to do that to my car.
You're about to find out.
Exactly.
And we got the welder there, so we'll be all right.
Perfect. That may come in handy.
But so that's cool, man. I mean, I'm super excited. Glad to have you kind of part of the camp for the weekend. And I think it's going to be an awesome experience to ride along with Timmy, to learn some stuff, talk some stuff. And it's going to be a fast race course.
Nice.
So this is going to be good to have everybody out there battling. Obviously, we want to push Impy and hard as we can, but to have you in one of the cars is going to be awesome. So,
man, I'm super excited about it. This is going to be amazing, especially with all the Class 11 guys that are going to be out there. It's not just, your team, but how many? There's like 12, 15 cars signed up for it.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. And I mean, it always grows hey, I'm here, shows up. I mean, I know that a couple of us weren't even registered, so
nice.
It should be good, man.
I don't think I'm registered yet either. Wait, maybe. I don't know. Dude, logistics lately. I have a lot on my mind.
Yeah, how do you find time to sleep? So
luckily that is my superpower. I can sleep. You can ask my wife. Tornadoes, earthquakes, doesn't matter. I'm sleeping.
Once he drops.
Oh, I'm done. It's fantastic.
Poor Cynthia says she's been a third wheel for about a month here, so
she's as I've said, my wife is an absolute trooper. And as I can look back and actually like see my behavior and how absent-minded I have been, she's done more than she has ever had to in dealing with me. I can say that much. Like,
it's awesome.
It's awesome to see how supportive and great that she has been. And I'm sorry, darling.
Yeah. After the Baja, you got to take her friend. Yeah. Nice. Let's think there's somewhere nice for a little.
We'll go down to the Keys for a few days.
There you go. You heard it here first, Cindy. So hold him to it. We got it on recording, and
you don't have to twist my arm to go down to the Keys. I love it there. So yeah, you were there last.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there. That water is something else.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant down there. And just sit at one of the bridges going across the islands and just sort of watch it flow in and out. Brilliant.
Well, we don't have anything like that over here too. So just driving through a bridge and just seeing the ocean on both sides, it's insane. It's beautiful.
Now, you plan on going out to Florida anytime soon?
That's whenever I get another chance.
Okay, there's this weird thing that you have to see that's only available in the Florida Keys. It's called a key deer. It's a species of deer that's 24 inches at max height.
Huh.
It's called island dwarfism. animals trapped on a small island, they grow tiny. And it's this cutest little thing that's just wandering around like a little dog. And it's found in one little place in the world.
Interesting.
Huh.
Sorry.
What do you think was in that sandwich you ate the other day over there?
It was delicious.
Anyhow, man, we're super stoked to have you. Glad you can come hang out, mess around in the empty garage. We'll get downstairs and get to work. I know we got a little bit of
hey, thanks for having me out here, mate. This has been absolutely fantastic.
Good time. I'm glad you were able to do it. And you want to shout out anybody before we wrap up today or close out?
You know, thanks again to absolutely everyone who has ever chimed in, helping me out along my way. You guys are the reason we've come here, the reason we've made it this far, and the reason I actually get to try to live at my dream. Thank you, one. Thank you all. You are the absolute best.
Very cool. Well, guys, man, what an awesome show. It was cool to sit down with Mike and just talk about his journey, journey that many of us would, love to aspire to do. And hopefully it inspires you guys to build a car to kind of chase your dreams, whether it's the dream of racing Baja, whether the dream of going drag racing, or whether it's just to build that car that once tugged at your heartstrings before, that some way, shape, or form have a pastor or a desire to do it. Get out and do it before it's too late. Man, so much going on this month. A couple of things I want to run down, take care of some business before we get out of here. First of all, we have the More race that you heard this weekend, this Saturday. If any of you guys would like to come out and volunteer, I know More Racing could use some course workers, but more importantly, we can use the points. We really need the assistance for the points. Love to have a volunteer to go out and set up, do whatever for one of the cars. One of the team cars would be a great help. The very next weekend, we obviously have Octo this weekend as well. Orange County transportation deal at Veteran Swap Meet. So if you're not going to go out to the desert races, go out and support one of these shows right here at Vet Stadium in Long Beach. It's going to be a packed bus show. This kind of kicks off what used to be VW week, which now, like I said, turned into a VW month. Very next weekend, we're going to have the Prado show at Chino at the Prado Park on Sunday the 13th. And then we have a open houses. You've got the events, the Friday night cruise. You've got all the stuff. Check out the SoCal VW Week Facebook page. That'll give you kind of a overview. Then you got the 19th will be our open house, and capped off by Father's Day Sunday, the bug-in at Irwindale Speedway. Also, for those of you guys still watching, we have now booked, and you're hearing it first, a chassis dyno for our open house. First time we've done this, and we're going to have a horsepower shootout deal with naturally aspirated, and then you'll have a power adder shootout as well. So trophies for both. Get those cars ready. We're doing a limited number of cars. I think we'll probably cap it around 20 cars for the day. So it's going to be a blast. Tons of stuff. Like, we can't even keep up with all this stuff. So we just wanted to make sure we covered some of this things going on. We're going to brief you how to do it. We'll probably do a little bit of a live deal out at Prado show to kind of cover some of that stuff. Black Star Camp Out. So that's the precursor to the Prado show. So that's going to be coming up. You can start camping on the 9th of June, and then it culminates at the Prado show, which benefits the Ronald McDonald House on the 13th. So very cool deal from the Ford brothers. They do an awesome job. And there's so much more shows getting planned and scheduled coming down the pipeline. So again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Each and every week we have the show. We're trying to get back on schedule a little bit. New catalog coming just around the corner in a few short weeks, month or so. We'll have that thing out. That's going to be amazing, amazing new catalog with a bunch of new product, thousands of new product items that are now in stock here at MP. So with that being said, again, awesome, great time shooting the breeze with our boy Mike from Idiot Racing. Wish him best on the adventure to Baja. You'll be able to catch him hanging out with us, hopefully this weekend, this Saturday, and getting his feet wet. So we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same channel. You know where to be. Thank you. Have a good weekend.